Good evening, all. Welcome to TCS NQT 2026 coding training, day 5. Yeah, am I audible? Am I audible? Yes or no? Is my audio clear? So today, what we do is we will solve the question asked yesterday, that is 19th February 2026. Yesterday, for paid students, TCS NQT exam happened, whether you know or not. Okay, but yesterday, some students that means who paid 599 rupees before this notification. Okay, so NQT test was conducted for paid students. Okay, so for them yesterday 19th or 19th February test happened. Okay, and today we'll try to solve one such a question from yesterday's exam. Okay, so if there is any disturbance in the audio, please uh, respond in the chat so that I can correct the audio system. Okay, so sometimes what is happening is in between my audio is going down. So if you just timely inform me, then I can correct so that this session will become fruitful. Got it? Okay. So, right. So we'll go with that question. Okay. So we'll try to understand the question and we'll try to solve the question. And in TCS examination, okay. So coding part. Okay, so this coding session will contain 90 minutes of time. Okay, so in this 90 minutes, you need to solve two questions. Two questions you need to solve. Okay, so again, these two questions will be the first question may be from easy to medium level hard, and the second question will be from medium level to hard. Okay, so hopefully for this 90 minutes, for this it will be something like 35 minutes will be given for easy question and 55 minutes time will be given for a medium to hard level question. Okay, so again this 90 minutes is distributed among these two questions. Okay, so within half an hour if you can solve this easy question, okay, with all test cases passed, all test cases. Okay, so then it would be great, and you can complete this in another 55 minutes, medium to hard level. Okay, so always aim at completing the two questions with all test cases passed. Okay, so prepare in that way. So most students they want to just complete one question with all test cases passed. Okay, but the competition is very high, friends. It's a huge recruitment, all India recruitment. Okay, so competition is high, and if you want to uh, go with the 9 LPA to 9.3 LPA package, then your score should be very high. Okay, so based on your score, you will be called for a digital role or a prime role. Okay, it depends on your score only. Right now, so let us see the problem. Yesterday's problem, even frequency character sum. We need to calculate the even frequency character sum. Okay, so the problem statement is given like this. Given a string of lowercase letters, calculate the sum of the frequencies of all characters that occur an even number of times. Okay, so you will be given a string in lowercase letters. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to calculate sum of whom, sum of the frequencies of all characters. Okay, so all characters that occur even number of times. That means we want to calculate the frequencies of characters which are occurring even number of times in the given string. Their sum we need to calculate. Okay, so the input is a string and the output is an integer representing the total sum of even frequencies. Example, if we look at the example, then we can understand. So this is the string given here, a b b c c c d d. Okay, so and the output should be 4. Output should be 4. Okay, so explanation is also provided to such questions. For example, inputs and output, you will be given two examples, inputs, outputs. For them, explanation will be given. Okay, so here what are the frequencies for each character present in the string. A has a frequency 2. That means how many times A is occurring? A is occurring 2 times here. Then B is occurring 3 times. That means odd number of times. C is occurring 3 times, odd number of times. And D is occurring 2 times, even number of times. Okay. So since A occurring even number of times and D occurring even number of times, the output should be 4. Okay, so 4 means you should add only the characters frequency which are occurring even number of times. So 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay, so just you need to print that sum of the even frequencies. Okay, so no need to print those characters. Just their sum of even frequencies you need to print. This you should understand. Okay, so no need to print those characters, which characters are occurring in even number of times and what are their frequency, nothing asked here. Okay, so sometimes say for example, if D might be occurring 4 times, then it becomes a 2 plus 4, 6. The output may be 6 in that case. Got it? Okay, so here you should be very careful what we need to calculate. That if you understand clearly, then you can proceed with the problem what you need to do to get the solution. Okay, so this is the given string here. Okay, so let us work with the given string. So how to arrive at solution? Now if this is the given string, okay, so the string will be stored in the array like this. So it is A, then say B, 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 C, 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 then say D, D. Okay, so index will be 0, 1, 2, 3. So like this, the index. So there are total 10 characters. Okay, so this is the given string here. Okay, so input string is given. Let's like you assume it as something like S or something. Okay, so how we can arrive at the solution? What you can do is you should traverse the string from first character to last character, touching each character or visiting each character. Okay, so when you visit each character, okay, so then you count its frequency. Okay, so while traversing, so you look at the first character, second character, these are like A occurring 2 times. Okay, then you start counting about B occurring 3 times. Then you start counting C occurring 2 times. Okay, then start counting D occurring 3 times. Okay, so from this what you need to do is you take only those characters which are occurring even number of times and just sum them. Okay, so their frequency you sum, not the characters. Okay, so 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Then if you can print this code, that is your output. But how to get these frequencies? That is the tricky part in this question. Okay, so that means while traversing, what you can do is you just start at index 0. Okay, and how many times this character is occurring in this string. Okay, so that you need to count here. Okay, so how you can count here? Then at index 0 the character is a. Okay, so then initially its count will be 1. Okay, so then process the next character. Okay, so then if this character is equal to this character, okay, then increment the count value. Okay, so like this you go on searching, counting a values until you get a character which is a different one, not equal to a. Got it? Okay, so if it is a different character, you stop, and this count value you will get that count value. Okay, and immediately you check this. Okay, so if its count value is even. Okay, so how do you check its count value is even? Something like a count value is 2. Okay, so it is even, then you immediately add it to a variable called as a total sum. Okay, so assume that the count value of a you have stored in a variable called as a count. Okay, so then initially total sum you take as 0. Okay, so then if it is even, what you do is you add this count value to total sum. So then total sum becomes now 2. Total sum now becomes a 2. Okay, so then, so like this, how long you should count a values? Once when you occur a different character, you should stop. Then you will get the count of a. So again start from the different character and go on counting until you encounter a different character. Okay, so this gives the count of b, which is 3 here. Okay, so then you check it is even number. No need to add to sum, total sum. Okay, so again count the next character, then c count you will get as a 2. Check it is even number. Yes. Okay, so that means it is occurring even number of times. Add it to total sum. Okay, so count becomes a 2 plus 2, 4 it becomes. Okay, so then start counting next character, different character. Okay, so d occurring 3 times. Like this you should go on counting until you reach end of the string. So it is not a even, no need to add to total sum here. Okay, so finally if you return the total sum from the function, or if you print total sum, then that prints the output as a 4, which is required output in the given problem statement. This one you require 4. Okay, so this is how you can design your solution. Got it? Now we will implement this in a Python. We will implement this in Python. Okay, so how we can write code for this? Now whatever logic we implemented. Okay, so the same thing here in the main code. First what we do is we'll try to define. See, in TCS examination, okay, so all code you should write. Okay, so handling of input and printing of output. Okay, so all the code you must write in the editor. You will be given a plain editor, whereas in other companies examination, okay, so the input reading everything will be provided to you. Only thing is you need to complete the function. Okay, but in Infosys examination, input you should handle, and you should know how to read the given input properly. Okay, so since here it is a simple string here. Okay, so it doesn't create any problem, but sometimes the input may contain number of test cases. Okay, then followed by some number of strings, like this 4 5 lines of input will be there, and in each line again there will be some numbers. So this kind of input your program should read properly. If you don't know how to read this input properly, then you never reach your output, target output here. Okay, so that you should check initially whether my code, my program reading the input properly into some variables or not. Once it is checked, done, clear, okay, so then you proceed with the logic. So without checking this, if you write some logic and you will end up with the errors, that means you end up with wrong answer and you won't know why your program is behaving wrongly. Got it? So this check you should do in the initial stage of the program itself, right? So first let us write the main code. Okay, so I'm just writing the main program here. So what I need to do, I need to read a string, okay, so I read the string s is equal to, so since in Python we have input function which reads a string, here directly I can say input, that's it, the string will be read into this. Okay, so then directly I print, I call a function. Okay, so I call a function and we give name here, the function name they will provide here. So even frequency sum, no, so just I call the function name as a even frequency sum, and pass this string as a argument to the function. Okay, so it finds even character sum and returns that value will be printed here. Okay, so here we will define that function here. Okay, so even frequency sum, and the argument is the string. Okay, so now define the function. So what we need to do initially, so we need to calculate the total sum, no? Okay, so you define a variable called as a total sum and initialize it. So initially the total sum will be 0. Okay, so I define a variable called as a total sum and initially it is 0. Okay, so then we should start processing from index 0 onwards in the string. Okay, so for that I take a variable called I. Okay, so which indicates index of the string here, I is equal to 0 here. Okay, so then we need to calculate length of the string. Okay, so then I'll calculate length of the string, then you can say length of yes, number of characters present in the string, because you need to repeat a loop for these many times, because each character you should visit once, no? For that you require length of the string here. Okay, so then you can just run a while loop here, while I less than n, as long as I less than n. Okay, so until your index reaches to 9 here, last character, until it reaches. Okay, so now you look at the logic, whatever logic, now I is equal to 0, that means now we are processing the first character. Okay, so this character we are processing and we will count how many times it is occurring, how many times it is occurring. Okay, so this character now we will store in a variable. Okay, so we'll store in a variable like say for example, so it is a letter or character now, so I'll say it as ch. Okay, so ch is equal to, I say s of I, ch is equal to s of I. Okay, so now what this ch variable contains, this ch variable contains the character a. Now I need to count how many times this a is occurring. Okay, so you take a local variable for this loop and call it as a count and initialize it to 0. Okay, I not yet started now, so that's why I call the initialize the count variable as a 0. Okay, so now you go on counting this character, and please remember, in this kind of inputs in online examinations, especially these company recruiting examinations, okay, this string will be given in the order, alphabetical order. Don't worry about this. Okay, so first A's will be followed by B's, B's will be followed by C's, C's will be followed by D's, Like this, in this alphabetical order only it will be given. It is okay. So after completion of A's only, then B starts. Okay, so the string is not in this form. So for example, A, B, okay, B, C, D, again A. So this way the string is not given. Even this kind of, for this kind of input also, okay, so you should write the code. You should handle this kind of input if provided. Okay, so since the clear entire problem statement is not available to us, okay, so we have only this statement available and the input based on this input, okay, so this is the general pattern asked in online examinations, competitive coding examinations. Okay, so generally it will be in this fashion only. All A's followed by B's, followed by C's, then followed by D's. Then it becomes easy to count the occurrences of each character. Got it? Right. So now I take a variable. Then what I do is I go on counting. I go on counting A in this string. Okay, so since we know that this is the character that is occurring, so how long I should go until I encounter a different character? I go on counter this character. Okay, so how do you know that whether it is the same character is repeating? So that means you repeat the loop here. Okay, so take another loop here inside this. Now you say while I less than n, because maybe A is occurring until end of the string. Only A is occurring. So that means as long as I less than n, that means you reach end of the string. Okay, and now I need to count. Okay, so that means if okay, so if your s of I, if your s of I is equals to ch, if this s of I is equal to ch, that indicates that, so what is s of I value is 0. S of 0, s of 0 is what? A is equal to ch. Yes, that means it is occurring one time. Now I count this, so I increment the count value. Plus is equal to 1, I say plus is equal to 1. Okay, so then what happens? Character at 0th index we have counted. Okay, so now we need to go to the next index. Okay, so where we are storing that index? In variable called I. Now I need to increment I value. So I say I plus is equal to 1. Now I value becomes a 1. I value becomes 1. Okay, so then the loop repeats, it goes up. Now it checks 1 less than n. What is n value here? N value is 10. Okay, so length of the string, n value is 10 here. Okay, so now you can see here, even I store count value also. Count now, one occurrence occurred now, so I count say it is 1 now. Okay, so I value is now 1. Now it checks 1 less than 10. Yes, and s of 1 is equal to ch. S of 1, okay, so just see here, s of 1 is it equal to a? Yes. Okay, so that means now one more occurrence, you increment the count value. Count plus 1, count becomes now 2. Okay, so increment count value and I value. So count value becomes now 2 here. Okay, so I value becomes 2 here. Then again goes up. Okay, so checks the condition. 2 less than 10. Yes, and s of 2 is equal to ch. What is there in s of 2? S of 2 is b. B is equal to a? No, condition becomes false. So in while loop, if the condition becomes false, then immediately the loop terminates. Okay, so comes out from the loop. Okay, so you, when you are coming out from the inner loop, the meaning is you have encountered a different character. You have encountered a different character. Okay, so I erase this main code. I will write somewhere else this main part. Okay, so I'll just take this out. Hope you understood how to read the input. So once you come out from this while loop, okay, so that indicates that you have counted how many times this character A is occurring. Okay, so where it is present in a variable called as a count. Okay, now you got the count. Now check whether its frequency is even or not. Okay, so its frequency is even or not, whether A occurring even number of times or not. Okay, so how do we know? If count, okay, so even or odd, how do we check? If you divide with the 2, okay, so mod 2, then the remainder should be 0. Okay, so if count mod 2 is equal to 0, that means it is occurring even number of times. So 2 mod 2 is equal to 0, yes, that means A is occurring a even number of times. So what you do, you add it to total sum. So we defined a variable called as total sum. Okay, so initially total sum is 0. Now you add this count to total sum. Okay, so how you can add? Now you can say total sum plus is equal to count. Total sum plus is equal to count. So 2 will be added to total sum. Now total sum becomes a 2. Okay, so that means A is occurring 2 times. Okay, so then end of outer loop, then again goes up. Okay, so now what is I value? See here, I again starts at 2. Already I value incremented here. Okay, so that means it goes on processing from index 2 onwards. The next character it starts processing. Okay, now condition check here. Okay, so you can check the condition 2 less than 10. Yes, now see here, ch is equal to s of 2. Okay, so s of 2 means b. In ch, b will be stored. So here the character b will be stored in ch. Okay, so now we can count its frequency. Okay, so now see here, ch, now count will be 0. Again you should initialize the count to 0 because this is a new character. We need to start its frequency now, so that's why count will make again 0 here. Okay, so again now you repeat the loop while I less than n, 2 less than 10, yes, and s of 2 is equal to ch, yes, then count value will become 1. Okay, so since count is made again 0. Okay, so I remove this. Now count again goes with a 0. Okay, so count is initially 0 here. Okay, so since it is equal, count value becomes a 1 here. I value becomes a plus 1, so I value becomes 3, goes to the next index. So 3 less than 10, yes, and s of 3 is equal to ch. S of 3, what is this? B is equal to ch, yes. Okay, so increment the count value becomes 2, and increment I value becomes 4. Okay, again it checks s of 4 is equal to ch, s of 4. Okay, so what is it? B, yes. Okay, so increment the count value becomes 2, then increment I value becomes 5 here. Okay, so then again checks 5 less than 10, yes, s of 5 is equal to ch. Now see here. Okay, so what is s of 5 here? S of 5 is C. C is equal to B, no, false. That's why the loop ends. Then comes here, it checks. Count is equal to, count mod 2 equal to 0. What is count value? 3. 3 mod 2 0, na? No. That means B is occurring a odd number of times. So we don't count it. So we'll just go up. Okay, so we'll just go up again, repeat the outer loop here. So I value is now 5. That means now we start processing the next different character, that is C here. Okay, so the same thing happens. Now it counts for C. So C starts occurs for 2 times. Okay, so this loop repeats counting of C here. It occurs for 2 times. Once you come out from the C, okay, so by this time the I value will become, okay, so 6, 7. Okay, so I value becomes 7, and when it comes out, okay, so I value becomes a 7. Sorry, it's 7. You have different character, no? So now it says s of 7 equal to ch. S of 7 means this d equal to c, no, condition becomes false, comes out. Then it checks 2 mod 2 is equal to 0, yes, then add it to total sum. So 2 plus 2, it becomes a 4 here. Okay, so then again goes up and starts processing of the next character here. Okay, so repeats the loop, and d, when it counts d value counting becomes a 3 here. Okay, so the count of d will be 3 here, and which is even a no. Then this loop ends and even no, it stops here and goes up. Okay, so by the time d is processed, okay, so what is the count value here? Count value becomes a 10 here. Okay, so count value becomes a 10 here, then it checks 10 less than 10, false, comes out from the loop, comes out from the loop. Okay, so once you come out from the loop, then now you say return this total sum, so which is nothing but 4. That 4 will be printed. That's it. This is how you can write a simple code to print sum of even frequencies characters. Got it? So let us execute this and let us verify whether it works fine or not with the given input. So let's move on to online compiler. So if you have any doubts, you can just post in the chat. Yeah, Pranay, nice questions, sir. Thank you, Pranay. Okay, so until this NQT examination completes, okay, so I'll help all the students who applied for NQT examination because you have very less time. So quantitative and reasoning you take care of. Okay, so coding part I can help you. And if you have any doubts in the coding, okay, so you can join in our TCS NQT WhatsApp group and also Telegram group, and you can post your doubts, queries in those groups. Okay, so timely I will reply to your queries. All right, let us execute this. So let us move on to online compiler. So we'll remove this entire code. Okay. So what we do is, so we'll remove this. First we'll try to write the main program here. Okay, so this is our main program. So what we need to do, first we need to read the string, so s is equal to input. Directly you can read the string and you call the function print, and what is the name of the function we have given? Even frequency sum, no? Okay, so we call the function even frequency sum. Then pass the s. That's it. Okay, so it calculates sum and returns. That will be printed, directly printed. And please remember, okay, so please remember, you should not print even extra character, even comma, full point, nothing you should print extra. Okay, otherwise your actual output and expected output won't match. Okay, I'll show you once I complete this program. I'll show you. Okay, so what happens if you print unnecessary characters? Okay, so even frequency sum and pass yes here. Right, so we need to take a variable called as total sum and initialize to 0 now. Okay, then I value, because to keep track of index we need to take the I value. Okay, so what else we require? Length of the string, because you need to traverse the entire string. So you would say n is equal to, generally you can take capital N for example if you require, then you can just calculate length of the string. Okay, so then start traversing the loop using the while loop. So while I less than n. Okay, so first character you store in a variable. Okay, so it is s of I. Then take a local variable called count, because we need to count this ch character present in ch now. Okay, so now repeat until you encounter a different character. Okay, so while I less than n. Why I'm using this why I less than n? Because only that first character, maybe present until end of the string. You don't know, no? Okay, so that's why you should check this. I less than n. Okay, and I less than n, and okay, so what we need to test, if s of I is equal to ch, so it is matching here. Okay, so then what you can do is you can just count that character, count plus is equal to 1, you can say, then increment the I value, then I plus is equal to 1, you can say. Okay, so that's it. This inner loop counts how many times that character is occurring. Got it? Okay, so once you come out from the inner loop, now you check whether it is even frequency or not. Okay, so how do you check? Count mod 2, count mod 2. If it is equal to 0, then add the count value to total sum. Okay, so this is what we did. Okay, so total sum plus equals to count. That's it. Okay, so now the loop repeats, and this while loop, when you come out from the outer loop, okay, so it is nothing but you reach the end of the string. So now you return the total sum variable. That's it. It returns that one. Okay, so take the main code near to this. That's it. This is your code. Hope visible. So let's run this code. Now it is waiting for the input. Now we will enter the input A, B, 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 then say C, 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 then D, D. So there is some problem here. Okay, so N. So did you mean capital N? Why I? Okay, so here I used small n here, no? So we defined capital N there. Again we used small n. Okay, so again we'll run the code. Then again we'll enter the string. B occurring 3 times, C occurring 3 times, D occurring 2 times. Okay, now you can see 4 displayed here. You can just see the output 4 displayed here. Okay, so if you want to test this code with any other string, you can type your string in the chat. If you think that for this string we may fail. Okay, but the assumption is A is followed by B is followed by C. In this order only the string is going to occur in the input. Yes, if you have any string with you in mind, you can just share that string in the chat so that we will test our code. No, right? Okay, but here the thing is, what you need to do is, this is the output. See, 4, okay, input and output both matching here. Okay, so instead of that, in the print statement generally what the students do is they make a mistake of writing some text here. Okay, like something like even frequency equals to some kind of text they'll write here. Okay, and they print in this order, like say A, B, B, C, C, D, 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 D. If I proceed like this, now even frequency equal to 6. Okay, so if you print like this, then even though your output is correct, okay, but you have extra characters on the console which are not there in the expected output. Okay, so expected output contains only this number 6. Okay, so these extra characters are not allowed. Okay, so your output, actual output and expected output, okay, so here won't match because you have supplied some extra characters onto the console. output, standard output. Okay, so that's why your test cases fail. This is the general mistake, because in lab we'll do programs of this kind. We'll try to print the meaning of this 6 with some text before that. Okay, so that is okay as far as lab is concerned. Okay, but in online platforms you should not print such kind of messages. Hope you got the hint for this. And students don't understand, okay, if they are writing their exam on the online platforms for the first time. Okay, so they always look at this answer only 6. Okay, expected output is also 6, but in test case it shows as a failed. Why it is failed, they don't understand. Okay, so it is just because your actual output and expected output, you need to look at those two things. Both should be same. Even if you print extra full point or comma, then it gives a test case fail. Okay, so I'm removing this. Now if I run the code, now it should be printed like this. Okay, so A, B, C, D, if I give, for example, if my input is A, B, C, D, let me run the code. A, B, C, D, if I give, okay, so then what should be the output? Output should be 0, because none of the characters occurring even number of times. So that's why it returns a 0 here. Okay, even if you supply an empty string, say for example empty string I am supplying here, then what it returns? See here. Okay, so these two are treated as a two characters here. Actually we are supplying these two characters, no? Okay, but for them they provide an empty string. Okay, so there also it prints 0 here, but here since it is same kind of characters, no, it looks like same kind of characters, so that's why it is printing now. See here, I just pressed enter there. Okay, so that means no string, empty string I supplied. Now you got the answer as 0. These boundary cases, these are called as a boundary cases. These boundary cases you should take care. Otherwise, when you submit your code, private test cases contains these boundary cases. Okay, so there your program fails. Some of the test cases may not be passed in such case. Got it? Right. Now this is the basic way of writing the code actually. Okay. But if you are writing your code in a Python, okay, so your code should be more Pythonic. More Pythonic. Okay. So how you can make this more Pythonic? Okay. So I'll explain to you. See, if you don't get any idea, initially you can start writing your code in this way. Okay, but if you want to write a more Pythonic way of code, okay, so then you should use dictionary, because to store the frequencies, generally we use dictionary. In Java, we use hash map. Okay, so how we can use dictionary, and how your code becomes simple if you use a dictionary. Okay, so I'll show here. So let me share the PPT to you. Now see how easily you can write if you use a dictionary. If you know dictionary, okay, then your code becomes very simple, because you want all frequencies only, no? Okay, so those frequencies you can store inside the dictionary. Okay, so what we do is we define the function, right? So even frequency sum, even frequency sum, and pass s the string as a argument here. Okay, so generally dictionary contains what? Dictionary or hash map in Java. Okay, so it contains the elements as a key value pairs. key value pairs. Okay, so here key is nothing but the character, and value is its frequency, how many times it is occurring. Okay, so once you know the character and its frequency, you can just pick even frequencies and just add it and return that. That's it. Got it? Okay, so for that we define a variable called as frequency. Okay, so which is nothing but an empty dictionary. Okay, so here I'll show you. Initially your frequency dictionary is an empty dictionary, and how key value pairs will be stored in this dictionary. Let us work out. Okay, so then what you need to do, you need to just walk through the string from the first character to last character. So here no index is required, just you can use a for loop here. Okay, so something like for ch in s you can say. Okay, so where s is your string. Okay, so a b b b. Okay, so this is your string c c c d d. So what it does is, this for loop, when you say ch in yes, one by one character it supplies to the variable ch until you reach end of the string. Okay, so first it supplies the first character a into the ch. Okay, so here what you need to do, you add it to the dictionary, and it's a frequency you add it. Okay, so how you can add, because there is no key present a in the dictionary. Okay, so now I am adding it to the frequency dictionary. Okay, so frequency of ch is equal to, okay, frequency of ch is equal to, if you say, then immediately a key with a will be created. A key with the letter a will be created. Okay, so then how many times it is occurring? It is occurring one time now. So every time while I process the string, if I encounter one more a, then I simply increment its value. You can just say frequency is equal to 1 here. Okay, but it might have occurred previously, okay, so for that if you write like this, then you end up with some error. Okay, so what you need to do is, you check whether it is present in the frequency dictionary or not. If it is present, then return its uh, value. Okay, now add 1 to that new value. Okay, so how you can access, you can just use a method called as a get method. Okay, so frequency dot on the dictionary, you have a method called as a get method. Okay, so get method returns keys. Okay, so returns the keys. So which type of key you want? Key containing a ch here. Okay, so then you can put 0 here, okay, so 2 arguments you can pass, or 1 argument. When you say frequency dot get ch, okay, so if you ask this get function, for example, something like a b I am asking. Okay, so it checks whether b is present in this. No, b is not present. Okay, so since b is not present, it creates a key with a letter b and stores initially the index value or the frequency as a 0. Okay, so for this frequency, now what we do is we add 1. Okay, so the meaning is, if ch is present, okay, so directly it returns that ch value, frequency value, and adds new one. Okay, if it is not present, to treat its frequency as 0 and add 1 to that one. Okay, so 0 plus 1 becomes a 1. Okay, so that means initially it creates a new key with the letter b and its frequency becomes 1. Same is the case for a here. Got it? Okay, so this helps us in just incrementing its frequency value. If you don't use this, and if the ch is not present, then it returns a null value there. Okay, so then everything becomes null here. So frequency dot get ch comma 0 plus 1. Okay, so if ch present, then return its value, otherwise treat its frequency as 0 and now add 1 to that frequency. So since it is first time occurring A here, so then 1 will be added. It's the previous frequency will be 0 plus 1, now 1. Okay, so this is the statement by which you can add a key initially to the dictionary. Okay, so like this it repeats. Now you can see how the A value will be incremented. It goes up next. So inside the CH, next character will be supplied. Then it checks frequency of CH is equal to. Now you can see frequency dot get CH. When you say get sequence, CH, what is CH? CH contains now A. Okay, so A is already present in this. Okay, so B not there. I have taken as an example here. Okay, so inside the dictionary A is already present. Okay, so what it does is it returns its value. So this value it returns 1, it returns. So at this point it returns 1 here. Then 1 plus 1 will be done. 1 plus 1 becomes 2, and that 2 will be stored in the frequency of a CH. Frequency of CH means for this key A, now its value will be updated as a 2. The meaning is A is occurring second time. A is occurring a second time. Got it? Right, so next the loop repeats. Okay, so it goes up. Now CH contains the next character. Okay, so next character will be supplied to CH. CH contains the next character. What is next character? B it contains. Now it checks frequency of B. Okay, so B is present. No, it is not present. So then what it does, when you say frequency dot get B, this get function, what it does is it creates a new key with CH as a key, okay, B as key, and initially stores 0 as its a frequency counter. Okay, so then that value will be written here. So this returns a 0, then 0 plus 1 will become 1. So okay, so that 1 will be stored here. So now it becomes a 1 here. That means B is occurring one time. Now this will be updated. Okay, so next character will be supplied here. One more time B occurring, then its value becomes a 2. Next character will be supplied to CH. One more time it is occurring, so its value becomes a 3. Okay, so B frequency will be stored as a 3 in the dictionary. It will be stored as a 3 in the dictionary. Okay, so then supplies the next character CH now contains the character C here. So now see frequency of CH C. Okay, so then frequency dot get CA. Is it present? No. So what it does? It creates a new key with C and initially stores its frequency as 0. Okay, so 0 will be written, then plus 1. So its frequency will be incremented by 1 because it is occurring one time here. So then its frequency becomes 1. So next C will be supplied, its frequency becomes 2. Next C will be supplied, its frequency becomes a 3 here. So C frequency becomes a 3. Okay. Similarly, now the next character supplied to CH is D here. Then it checks frequency dot get D, not there. So it creates D and initially stores a 0 plus 1. So its frequency will be incremented by 1. So next D will be supplied. So its frequency increased by 2 here. Okay, that's it. End of the character string reached here. Then this loop stops here. That's how the string will be processed by this for loop. This is how internally it is processed. This is what happens internally. This thing you should understand. If you know this, then only what is happening in the dictionary you can follow. You can trace it. Otherwise, it becomes difficult. What is happening? What are stored in the dictionary? Okay, right. Once you come out from the dictionary, now you can just check out, see all characters present in the string and their frequencies are available in the dictionary. Yes or no? Available in the dictionary. Okay, so now you can do one more thing is get their frequencies and add it to total sum. Okay, so once you come out from the loop, then you create a new variable called as a total sum and initialize it to 0. Okay, so now you loop through this frequency dictionary. Okay, so how you can loop through this frequency dictionary? In dictionary, what happens now? If this is key, if you ask a frequency of a key, if you ask then it returns the associated value. Okay, so that means if you ask frequency of A, then what is written here? It returns its frequency, that is 2 will be returned. 2 will be returned. Okay, that's how the elements will be accessed inside the dictionary. Okay, so now I am trying to get their values, or there is one more only to get these values. Okay, so there is one more function called as a frequency dot values. Then it gives all the values present in the dictionary. Okay, so this gives all the values associated with each key. For A, what is the frequency? 2. Okay, for B, what is the frequency? 3. For C, what is the frequency? 3. For D, what is the frequency? 2. Okay, so this returns these four values, and 111 will be supplied to the for loop. Okay, so if you write a for loop, just like a for thing, for count in, okay, so for count in frequency dot values. Okay, so frequency dot values is a function. Values is a function. Frequency dot values. These four values you will get, and one by one will be passed to this variable count. Okay, so now the first two goes into count. Now you check if it is even, add to total sum. That's it. Okay, so you can just say if count mod 2 is equal to 0, then add it to total sum. So total sum plus is equal to count. Total sum plus is equal to count. Okay, so like this you add only those even numbers. 2 plus 2 will be added, then 4 it contains. Now after coming out from the loop, you return the total sum. That's it. This is more Pythonic, because using a dictionary for storing the frequency of each character. So if you write the code this way, it is very concise and easy to understand also. And especially if you write this kind of code in interviews. Okay, in interview also you will have a technical round. Then definitely people will appreciate your efforts, the way you write your code. More chances for getting selected. Got it? Any doubt in this? Right, so quickly let us execute this code. So I'll modify the code. Let's go back to our online compiler. Then we will modify the code. Quickly we'll modify, and so what we require here, this for loop and these things we don't require now, right? So we require a dictionary, frequency dictionary here. Okay, so frequency is equal to just a empty curly braces. It gives, it creates a empty dictionary here. Okay, so just run through the string for ch in a yes, simple loop here. Okay, so then you can say frequency of ch. Okay, so frequency of ch is equal to, then you can say frequency dot get. So what you need to get, ch comma 0. If it is available, get its value. If it is not available, keep its frequency as 0 and return that value. 1 will be added, incremented. Okay, so that's it, simple loop. You can run. Then say plus 1 here. Okay, that's it. After coming out from the loop, now the frequency dictionary is created. Okay, so you define a variable called as a total sum and initialize it to 0. Okay, so now you run the loop here. Okay, so how you can run the loop, you can use a for loop here, then just for counter in a frequency dot values, all the values will be returned from the dictionary. Okay, so then you check whether count is even. If count mod 2, count mod 2, if it is equal to 0, then add it to total sum. That's it. Okay, so total sum plus equals to count, you can say. That's it. And finally return the count. This is your program. More Pythonic way. Okay, so now you supply A, B, 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 C, 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 then say D, 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 D. Something I am supplying here. Yeah. So what is did you mean values? Okay, I'm written spelling wrong here. VLA I have written VAL actually. VAL is okay, right? So let us run the code again. Now again we will supply here BB. So then C C C, then say D D D. Now you can see. Yeah, the input is not ending here. Okay, so think we will stop this. Okay, so because it is now let's run this code. BBCC. Okay, DD we will supply. Now you can see here. Okay, so because the previous state was not interrupted. Okay, so now you can see all of them are occurring two times. That's why the frequency is 8 here. Okay, so very simple way of writing this code. Still, if you are interested to write more and more Pythonic way, okay, so in this what we are doing, we are manually creating this dictionary, okay, manually counting each character, manually we are counting here, and directly we are storing that frequency in the dictionary. Okay, so manually we are creating the dictionary. Okay, but there is a predefined dictionary class available in Python. Even no need to run this loop also. Directly if you give the string, automatically it counts and gives you the frequencies. Okay, so that is more and more Pythonic. Okay, so let's modify this code. Okay, so that because all possibilities, all ways of writing the best code I am trying to explain to you. Okay, because if you practice these kind of code writing, okay, so then it will help you to get through easily. Okay, always your code becomes a concise and small, runs faster, right? So let me quickly go through that so that it becomes more concise. It is more concise, no need to count. Okay, so already there is a class called as a counter that will take care, and you just pass it. Okay, so I'm just removing this. See here, manually we are creating the dictionary, so this is not required. This code you can remove. Okay, so simply you can just what you need to do is you need to import okay, so from collections library. Okay, so what you need to do is from collections you import the import okay, so this counter class. Counter is a predefined dictionary in Python. Okay, so here the advantage, just you can see here, the advantage is just what you do is you create an object for this counter class and pass your string. That's it. So it will count the frequency of each character in the string and returns a dictionary. Okay, so that you can store here. No need to run here. That's it. Now your frequency dictionary is created. Frequency dictionary is created. Okay, so it returns the dictionary. Now if you want to see, just I'll print the dictionary. You can just see here, frequency dictionary I am printing here. Okay, you can see afterwards. Right, now your dictionary is ready. The remaining code is same. You define a variable called as total count. Okay, then get through the dictionary values and just print it. That's it. Okay, so even this entire thing, if this entire thing, okay, so if you want, you can just create using the list comprehension. Okay, so if you are good at writing list comprehension, okay, so then you can use list comprehension. Okay, so if it is confusing to you, then you can just use this code, no issue. Okay, because this is very simple loop. Okay, so it runs for just the number of elements in the frequency table. Okay, so just the thing is, the we avoided one loop here. Okay, so this counter class is a dictionary. Okay, predefined dictionary, and it creates a dictionary with each character and its frequency. That's it. Okay, so let me run the code. You can see here, C A, then say B B C C D D. Now you can see a counter how it is printing. A two times occurring, B two times occurring, C two times occurring, D two times occurring. Then the answer is 8 here. Okay, so these things you can cross check before you run your code, submit your code. Okay, so during the compile time, okay, so there will be two options, compile and submit. Compile is for checking public test cases. Once public test cases passed, then you can submit your code. So during that time, you can check how your dictionary is created, how the values are stored in this one. Now you can see, just using single line, we created the dictionary. No need of running the for loop also. Okay, so these kind of programming tips, if you can remember, then it becomes easy for you to finish the task. So if you want, I can even remove this these 3-4 lines code, and using list comprehension, you can just count only even counts. So you can count. You can create a list here. Okay, so how you can do that? See, you have this dictionary now. Only even counts we will count. These even counts we will perform here. Okay, so I just removing this entire thing here, just you can see, because all Pythonic way of writing the code you need to understand here. Okay, so just I say counts is equal to, okay, so we create a list in which we will store only those even counts. Even count values we will store in the list, and if you sum up, then you will get the total sum. That's it. Okay, so for that, what you can do is you can just say counts is equal to count. Okay, so all even counts you count. Okay, so what for count? For char comma count. Okay, in this is your frequency table, no? Frequency dot items. There is one more function available. There is one more function available. Okay, so for you, I'm just writing here. We can also modify this code by using values also. I'll show that also. So frequency dot items, when you say, it gives each element key and value it returns. So the first one is the key here. The second one is the count value it returns. Okay, so char is nothing but the character A, and count is nothing but it's because it contains two values, no, so that's why I'm taking these two variables here. Okay, so then what, now I'll get the first element from the dictionary, and in which this count is present in this variable count. Okay, so include this count. Okay, so when I should include this count, I can write a condition here, if count is an even number. Okay, so that means if count mod 2 is equal to 0, if count mod 2 is equal to 0, then only you include. That is what we are informing the Python. Okay, so only even counts will be included here. Then it returns all counts. So I'll print counts, and what it contains you can just understand here. Okay, so I'll print this counts value. Okay, so let us check out this. Hope it gives error. Okay, because we have not defined BBBCCCDD. Now you can see. Okay, total sum we have not initialized now. Okay, so I just initialize total sum somewhere here. You can remove afterwards. Total sum is equal to 0, I say. Okay. Now if I run the code, because each variable you need to look into first what is happening, then only you should proceed further. Now you can see this is our dictionary and this is our counts list. Now it contains only even see here, A contains 2, D contains 2 times. Only those even counts are present in this list. When you have a list of values, to find sum of elements in the list, what you need to do? What you need to do? Just you can say that find the sum and return. Okay, so you can just say sum and just say return. So sum of what? Sum of counts I want. So it calculates sum of counts and returns that value. Okay, so then that will be returned here. Now you can see here. Now you can just run the code. Now you can observe here the output A, B, B, C, 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 D, D. Now you can see this is dictionary and this is your counts, and now it summed these two values. 4 is returned here. Okay, that 4 printed here. Now if I remove this print, and if I remove this print, directly you will get input and output. That's it. Okay, so now this time we'll enter 4 A's. Okay, then 4 B's, then 5 C's, and something like 3 D's. Now you can see, so 4 plus 4 8, 4 occurring, A occurring 4 times, B occurring 4 times, so 8 directly printed here. Now you can just see here how easily it is written. Just 4 lines of code. Now it is just 4 lines of code inside the function. Even this also not required. Total sum we are not using now. Only 3 lines of code inside the function. This you should practice. Writing the code this way, you should practice. This is what expected from you by the TCS company or any other company. Yeah, any doubts in this? So friends, if you found this video useful, so please like the video and also share this video. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and also turn on the bell icon for more such coding updates. And if you have any queries related to coding, you can post your queries in the comment section of this video. So that's it for this session. Thank you one and all. Happy learning, happy coding. Thank you.